You've got a great illustration about your friend Denise in terms of this fear of dying.
Well, Denise was someone I knew. She was one of those people in that 6-bed ward. She was in the middle bed opposite me. She had a strange neuromuscular disease, paralyzed, blind. She woke up one morning, active teenager, and by the end of the day, she couldn't walk. And when I met her, she was unable to move at all and pretty much bedridden in that geriatric ward of that state institution. And she had such a sweet spirit. Her mom would take the crosstown bus to see her almost every day and would read the Bible to her at bedside, and I would listen from a distance. And I was so admiring of this young woman, but could never seem to muster the sort of faith that she seemed to exhibit. Well, I graduated out of that state institution and went on with my life, went back to the University of Maryland. She remained in that hospital. I would go back every year to see her for my annual checkups. But the 8th year, I went back, 8 years after my paralysis. I looked for Denise to greet her, but she was gone. And when I asked the nurse where she was, they said, "Oh, you didn't hear that she died. She passed away." And I was so stunned. She was always there. And I remember going back and talking to a friend of mine with whom we were reading the Bible together. "I don't get it," I said. This young girl, I mean, all she had was her mother. It's not as though her testimony could rub off on many people. There were very few visitors. For 8 years, blind and paralyzed in bed, what's the sense of it? And I remember my friend showed me a portion of scripture, Ephesians chapter 3, verse 10. "For it is now God's purpose that through the church, his manifold wisdom should be made known to the powers and principalities in all the heavenly realms." To paraphrase it, he said, Denise's life was like a blackboard upon which God was chalking all these incredible lessons about himself. Lessons like, my grace is sufficient. I will give her strength to sustain her. I will give her peace that passes all understanding. And Johnny, my friend, said, angels and demons are standing on tiptoe because they're so intensely interested to see how you're going to respond, how Denise would have responded. So don't be thinking that her suffering was wasted, because for those 8 years, she was accruing for herself an eternal reward that far outweighed the inconvenience of her blindness and paralysis. And it's true for you, Johnny. What was true for her is true for you. So don't be thinking that you're alone in your suffering. Angels, demons, millions upon millions and millions and millions of unseen beings are learning something about the greatness of God through your obedience and your trust in God. Because every day, everything we do down here on earth has a direct bearing proportionally to our capacity for joy and worship and service in heaven. Can't wait to see Denise and the rewards accrued to her account and all that she'll cast at the feet of Jesus.